Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Journal podcast. I'm your host, Scott Mackay, and I'm delighted to be joined by Billy. Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Scott. How's yourself? Happy, I'm assuming.
Not bad, aye, over the moon. So I just thought we would jump on for a quick 20 minutes, half an hour, just to dissect the game a wee bit. We'll go over the game in greater detail on the podcast on Monday night, but that wasn't a bad performance today, was it?
Comfortable scoring so early. It's because you're worried that we're going to have to break them down and go through the match. I mean, what did you feel after the goal going in? We're so quick.
I was surprised it happened that quickly, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Diamande done it, rolled the ball forward with his left and smashed it with his right this week, and he assisted to sell his right foot onto his left this week. So it's not a bad start, is
it? He's hit the ground running, hasn't he? He's been impressive without being, overly flashy or anything, but he's effective.
Aye, definitely. Andrew Barkley in the comments already. Welcome, Andrew, and he's just saying it was a championship winning performance. See, before we dissect the goals, I want to ask you, I was sitting thinking last night if Form Hearts were in, I think. I mean, I've said before the form was the second best in Europe, behind Inter Milan, and we've just went and rolled them over at Ibrox, which seemed like a really, really easy match, didn't it?
It felt like it. I mean, you always see it's easy to say these things afterwards. I thought that's the kind of scoreline we were going to get. I just had a feeling that we were. I don't think they've really given us any kind of particularly hard games this season. Obviously, Shankland got that goal. I think equalised in the other Ibrox game, but I never ever felt we were always over the top of them in all these other games. I wasn't going into this game thinking, I don't want to go too far ahead, but I'm more worried about the Kilmarnock game than I was at this one. So not really surprised at the scoreline, to be fair, but it's easy to say that once the game's over, and it has been such a one-sided affair. Although if you look at the stats, the possession stats, it's only like 51, 52% in our favour. It didn't feel like that.
Mm-hmm. No, it didn't. Obviously, Diamande's goal was outstanding. Just to touch upon John Lundstrom today, I thought he was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he?
Yep. I mean, was he your man of the match?
Aye. See, look past for the fifth goal, for the Silva goal.
Yeah.
Where's that John Lundstrom been the last 3-4 years? It's mental.
Oh, he was here for 6 months, a couple of years back.
Aye, that's right. Aye. So, second goal was Dessers that got the second, wasn't it?
Yep. That was another one went to VAR. I don't know how you were feeling when that was going on.
I wasn't sure. I think that was the fourth. There's that many goals to break down. We can't even get them.
No, you remember that one? It looked like he might have been offside.
Aye, that's right.
But he timed his run pretty well. I mean, I'm not saying he's never offside anymore, but it does seem to be less now that Clement's there. Whether that's something they're working on.
Aye, definitely. Thought he took a second goal. Thought he took it really, really well. In terms of, I think there was a wee bit I posted something on Twitter earlier on, and Gary Mulroney put in the chat obviously a bit of a graph about the difference between Shankland and Dessers this season. And Dessers has shut me up today. I need to be brutally honest. I thought he was fantastic.
I mean, Shankland, who we don't look like we're needing him or that we're missing him. Not signing him in January. It's Dessers, he maybe takes a few chances and only scores 1 out of 4 or whatever the stat is, but he's still getting these chances, putting himself in the position. He's obviously more of a maybe no, poacher's not the right word, but more of an out-and-out striker than we think Silva is. Not that you know that with the last goal, to be fair. But what surprised me? It's how fast he is. There's a few of the times in the game today that he burst through, beating the defender for pace. Gave himself a chance as well, kind of tripped over himself, unfortunately, but got a shot away, which I think Tav missed was that the one Tav missed a rebound? Or maybe the keeper saved that one, but he's fast, and for a boy that size, that's another good quality. I think I said to you a week or so ago, I don't know if I went out live, but I couldn't see him going forward being a main striker next season. But he's given me something to think about. I don't know about you.
I would probably. I've not been Dessers' kind of biggest fan since he signed. I thought the article with Ronald de Boer's really stuck in my head, and how Cyril Dessers was playing at the beginning of the season didn't really impress me. You didn't really see much of a work rate from him. He wasn't moving defenders around. He wasn't running the channels. He wasn't even winning flick-ons. He was How many goals he scored seem to be hitting off him and going in, rather than him taking a shot, if you know what I mean.
There was always going to be I don't know if learning curve's the right word, but there's always going to be a difference between him and Morelos. And us as fans needed to give him a bit of time to see what he could actually bring. He's not Morelos. He doesn't play the same game as him. But he brings something different. And I mean, he must be near the top goal scorer now with those goals today. Because he wasn't.
I think he's maybe level with Tav on the club. I'm not sure what Tav's record's like in the league this season.
Right.
But I think it's 12.
I read earlier he's only one goal behind Morelos in the 55 season. Right, and we've still got, 3 months to go? Well,
he'll definitely be. I think he'll hit the 20 goal mark. I think he'll hit the 20 goal mark quite comfortably. So we'll start for Canning goal and we'll just work our way through the team. Jack Butland again today was a safe pair of hands. Your back four was Ridvan, Suter, Goldson and Tavernier. Did any one of the defenders kind of stand out for you today?
I thought Suter again had a great performance. To be fair, Goldson also did pretty well mopping up, but Suter's always in there winning these kind of dangerous through balls and balls in the air that maybe would have got stuck underneath before. But I thought out of them, I mean, yeah, to be fair, I think Yilmaz also had a pretty good game as well. He might have been contender man of the match for me, actually, along with Lundstrom. But yeah, a decent, I mean, pretty a good performance out of all of them at the back. I mean, maybe Tav had a bit of a quieter game. What do you think?
I think Tav's been pretty ineffective in the last kind of couple of months. Obviously, he did a good game last week, but he's not being as involved because he's not being asked to stand high and wide. He's been asked to be a wee bit more inverted. I thought Ridvan was absolutely outstanding today. I thought some of his crosses, I think there was a cross in the first half.
Yep. The cross for the goal as well, was it not? Oh, wait, I think that was
the one that's selling it back post should have got on it.
Yep.
But I thought the wee man was really, really good today. 2 centre backs, another clean sheet, solid performance by Butland. I mean, Hearts never really bothered them, did they?
I mean, I think that free kick they got where the boy just put it straight to his gloves. I think that John Brown on Rangers TV was saying it was like just a pass back. That summed up their chances today because there was nothing. One a wee bit later on that he parried away, but still wasn't troubling him. Just wasn't able to catch it.
Paul McGarry goes in the comments. He's just asked my man of the match. For me, it was John Lundstrom. What about you, Billy?
I think I probably have to agree with you. It is close though. I thought Yilmaz had a really good game.
Aye, you did. There's quite a few comments coming in for Ridvan to get man of the match actually. So
I mean, it's not to be fair. It's not. I mean, Dessers maybe deserves a shout as well for the goals, but for the actual in the kind of gameplay and build up and everything, yeah, they too. Yeah, I mean, if Lundstrom can continue like this the rest of the season, I'll happily give him another few year deal.
Aye, definitely. So we'll step into midfield now, and it was Lundstrom, Diamande, and Lawrence.
Yep.
Who played kind of a wee bit further forward. What was your thoughts on? We'll pick up on Diamande. Scored another great goal again today. What was your thoughts on his performance overall?
I mean, just really happy with him. I think he's building really from even last week's game. If he keeps going, they never looked troubled either of them in midfield. So I just felt that they were really a solid unit.
Aye, they played. I thought they played really well together.
Yep.
What's your take on kind of Diamande's performances since he came in? Are you impressed?
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, it's really solid performance. Like it comes with that when it comes with that price tag that we're supposedly going to have to pay for him. You really need him to hit the ground running, and I think 2 goals, 2 games. He played a bit of part of another game, I'm sure, but these 2 starts he scored in, and both in the first half, he's influencing the game in the way that you'd want him to be doing at this point.
Aye, I've got to agree with you. So we're on to wings and with Oscar Cortez. We'll touch on Tom Lawrence now. I thought Tom Lawrence's combination play was outstanding today. And then we had Dujon Sterling, who kind of, maybe you could argue, he formed a 3 at times, played kind of right mid. But what was your thoughts on the 3 playing behind Dessers? I mean,
I wouldn't have thought, at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have thought Sterling would have been anywhere near that position. But I mean, he's came in, gave us solidity last week, and he's given a bit of, I guess, steel in that front line. Going back to, if I can go back to Lawrence, sorry, I was worried that we might miss Cantwell. I think I'd mentioned last week that Lawrence has possibly slowed down a bit, being a bit older. but you wouldn't have noticed that today because he was all over the place again, and didn't miss Cantwell at all today. As much as I would like him to still to be there, but Sterling's just given us that steal. Do you think you continue with him, or
see Riley's having an effect? I think you need to kind of continue with him. It just seems to be he's got the physicality for the league. So without, I'm not going to sound too technical here, but he's running over the top of people just purely with his physicality. So, and it's working. So I would say as long as it's working, it's. And
what do you think? You start him over McCausland at the moment? Is he in that kind of position?
Well, because I think McCausland has hit he's at a stage of his development where he needs to get kind of brought out and iron out his inconsistencies. I think if you look at Ross McCausland in a whole out, he makes that mistake against away to Betis where he doesn't track his man back, and he's learned for that. And the only way these young boys are going to get to make it in a Rangers jersey is to be allowed to play and make mistakes. I'm a firm believer that the youth players, like, see the day, that's your perfect opportunity to bring in your young boys like Liam King, Adam Devine if he's still there, and you can teach them how to see out a match when you're 5-0 up. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit, but there's also got to be an element of protecting them. And I think McCausland's at that stage just now where he's played 10, 15 matches, he's made a contribution. We all know what he's capable of. I think you need to bring him out, do a wee bit of work with him on the training pitch. I don't mean drop him for 3-4 weeks. I'm just give him what Clement did today is good man management for me.
I was surprised at it because you think last week was the game that he probably didn't want to have to bring him on because they didn't start him last week. But then you think, is he going to be brought back for this week? But being a sub again and going with Sterling, who isn't his natural position, despite being pretty good at it. To be fair, a lot of people are worried about if Jack Burton had to go anywhere. I'm pretty sure Sterling could cover and goal and be just as good.
Nah, he's taking every. Yeah. Conor Goldson's the best at home, boys.
Great.
So, for me, I thought Tom Lawrence, we'll single him out for a wee minute, but I thought Tom Lawrence was really, really good today in terms of his combination play. I put it in the chat earlier on. We didn't know kind of what position Lawrence was going to bring up. I thought if Sterling was going to drop back into midfield and then you could maybe have Lawrence as like an inside forward or like an inverted winger out on the right-hand side. Didn't quite work out that way. He played the 10 role. But I think the combination play in terms of beating a low block is coming up trumps just now. I think the wee triangles we're making, the interchanging, the passing and movement. I mean, teams can't seem to keep up with us, can they?
No, they don't. They can't really love it. I didn't think particularly Hearts played a low block today or anything, but much more enjoyable when this is why teams do play a low block, because we beat them 5-0 if they don't. So I'm happy with. As I was saying it earlier on, I was worried about missing Cantwell, but I think Lawrence has shown what we've missed last season with him being injured, because he's as you say, he's able to do these wee 1-2s to get through these wee lines and set up chances and allow people like Yilmaz or whatever to run on. So no, he's done well there today for me. That's ideally where I'd want him to see him. But as I say, I was worried about getting on, coming back from an injury. Is he going to have the same kind of level of fitness to be able to keep up the pace at that level? But today showed that he did, because they are, as you say, the informed team in Europe apparently, and we were able to, just steamroll them, weren't we?
Aye, definitely. Just to clear up one of my comments earlier on, I was using Adam Devine as an example about when we could be playing these young boys. We know he's out at Motherwell, and I think he's playing relatively well for them just now, which is good news. So Oscar Cortez, what was your take on Cortez today? I thought he took his goal really, really well.
When I watched it live, you could see his body shape, what he was going to do. I thought, he's kind of, he's given too much away to the goalkeeper what he's going to do. But seeing you see it back, it's so quick, and the finish is fantastic. And I got to say, I didn't see him do that much today. I suppose he never stood out as much as the others that I've mentioned. But that's a good finish.
Aye, definitely was. I think we've
seen a few of them. It's not what do you call him? Matondo tried it a couple of weeks ago, and was it just by the post or deflected? And then his Seema is quite good at doing that type of finish as well. But it's lovely to see, especially there's a camera shot from behind it and you see how it bends out and bends back around.
Aye, definitely. I'm really, really excited about what we've got in my hands with this boy Billy. I think he's everything we've been looking for.
Right. Okay.
I think he's everything we were looking for Ryan Kent, but Ryan Kent wasn't consistent enough in getting numbers. I like the way he knows how to keep his feet in the ground and control the ball. He's not scared of skinning the man. He's got a wee turn of pace on him. Can pick a pass. He's got an eye for goal. I'd be quite happy just to trigger that clause and buy him in now, would you know?
Well, yeah. What I was going to ask you though is, how do you feel that team we've got now compares to the team we played the Europa League final with?
Oh, that's a bit of a question.
You think? I'm more that you said Ryan Kent. If we started with Cortez in that game instead of Ryan Kent, what do you think? Too heavy for a Saturday night?
No. It's not too heavy for a Saturday night. It's difficult to answer because I've only seen Cortez for just under a month now. He's been here, so it's difficult to tell how consistent he's going to be. He's come in. He's had a really he's hit a purple patch. In terms of your answer, I would probably still go with Kent in the starting lineup.
Right. Okay.
Because of Kent's goal contributions heading to Seville, I think like the goal away to Red Star Belgrade, for example. I think he's got his performance away to Dortmund, things like that. You know what I mean? I think I would probably stick with Kent in that era just now. What about you?
Fair enough. It just popped into my head when you were talking about him.
So I thought
today, though, to answer the question, I mean, he took his goal well. I just don't really. Maybe I'm not watching him closely enough, but I felt that was much of what he did was pretty much the goal.
Yeah. I thought that myself last week against St Johnstone. He was a wee bit ineffective, but still, I think if we can get him on the ball often, I think we're going to have a player in my hands. He's still a young boy. We've got a good kind of fee agreed with Owens as well. I think it's about £3 to £4 million. So keep him at the end of the season and then trigger it just so he doesn't get injured because no luck. There's a good chance here. So on to the man of the hour. Nice one, Cyril. Nice one, son. What's your take on his performance? I thought his second goal was probably my favourite, and I'm going to tell you why. He didn't try and walk it into the net. He just smashed it.
Okay. I mean, the first goal, his timing for the run, I mean, was dead on. Well, obviously, I never seen it back with the lines drawn or anything, but they've obviously done a VAR check on it, and he has been onside, so you can only commend him for that. And that's just your poacher's finish, isn't it? Just across the keeper. Great. The second goal, one of these ones I stepped out the room, come back in, and all of a sudden you're seeing a replay of a goal. So I've never seen it in real time, but it looked a bit messy. Are you going to tell me that you think this was the better one?
No. I'm just
no. Sorry, just what you were saying. You thought that was the better one, and
to me, the second one I like that more because he's just lashed into everything, and I've not seen that enough for Cyril Dessers this year. He's been very. I need to try and do something fancy, and when it comes off, it's brilliant. But if you get back to the Ross County match a few weeks ago, I mean, we should have won. He should have had 5 in that game.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? We should have been cut and dry by half time. But I don't want to come on and criticise him. That's not why we're on.
No, I'm not. I don't want to do that either. It just looked a bit messy in the replay, at least anyway. But he controls it well. I know there was another VAR check on handball, but it didn't look like it to me from the replays I've seen. And yet, I mean, everybody loves a smash into the roof of the net, don't they?
Aye. There's a Corey Muncher from the stands at Ibrox saying he tries to be cute too often. I think that pretty much sums Cyril Dessers up. Before we wrap up, just a quick kind of overall view of his squad. There's been rumours that Seema's back in training.
Really? Right.
Aye. I think he was spotted in training kind of during the week, yeah. So I think he's going to be first back before Danilo. Where does he play when he comes in? Does he walk back into the midfield for you?
If he is back, he does play for me. Would he? I take it he'd be taking Cortez's space at the moment, which is fine with me. I mean, I do like Cortez as well, as you know, and he's growing into the team. But if Seamer can come back in and give us what he was given, towards the end of the year, I think we have to have him straight back in the team. In fact, he would be my number one on the team sheet. Probably my first on the team sheet every week.
Do you go out and let me pitch this to you then? Abdallah Sima signing for Brighton. Now, before he picks that injury up, see, he was in loan at Angers last year, and his injury record wasn't the greatest. In fact, the last couple of years, his injury record's not been the greatest. Do you, knowing that and knowing that he's picked up another injury and he's been out, but when he's played, he's been effective, do you go and do a deal with Brighton in terms of, you're looking at £68 million minimum?
Yeah.
I would say that's the region for him. Do you go out and sign him?
Do you happen to know roughly what the injuries were before? Were they all the same ones, or they kind of?
I think it was muscle tears. I think one of them was a thigh muscle tear, and another one was a calf tear. I think so. Right. It's all kind of muscle stuff.
Well, I didn't know that, to be fair. I'm only basing it on this season, and he didn't look to be getting. He never picked up injuries before that that international one, so he hasn't looked. When we were losing players like every single game by that time, or what it sort of felt like, he wasn't one of my injury concerns. So it's going to be a lot of money if we do. It's going to depend if he does come back and he does make an impact. You've got to think, if we want to do more in the Champions League, we need players of his quality. I'm going to have to defer to the manager and the health professionals to choose whether these injuries are something we should worry about going forward. But I mean, he's been my favourite player of the season. I wanted Cantwell to be my favourite player, but he just hasn't really done it up until recently.
I would agree with that. I think for me, Abdallah Sima he's good at what he does. He's good at timing his runs. He's
good finisher.
100%. He's a threat in the air as well that we've seen this season. He's just for me, it's the outlay that we would need to pay to get him for Brighton. I'm actually going to try and get a hold of a Brighton pod and maybe get him on so that we can have a chat about Abdallah Sima and talk about their transfer strategy and things like that, because I think it would be a decent interview.
Yeah.
So,
they just have a conveyor belt.
Aye, definitely.
Well, before you wrap up, mate, I just wanted to point out something to you. When remember a couple of years ago, was it Lee Bowyer and Dyer had a fight on the park?
Aye.
There was one point Lundstrom looked like he was going to smash Raskin in the face. He gave away like 2 or 3 cheap free kicks, and you seen him screaming at him like he's going to hit him. That was hilarious.
That's the Lundstrom we've been needing in the middle of the park for his sign, though.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of the season, the guy looked as if he was towing a caravan. Very ineffective. It's only since Clement's come in that he seems to have picked up his fitness. I mean, there was rumours.
And he did that long chase back as well in the second half. One of the Hearts players was busting through in the right wing, and he chased him, got the ball back off him.
Aye. Listen, see a day that John Lundstrom sets up a goal with a no-look pass, he's on form and he's confident.
But that's it. The confidence, maybe it just was the confidence.
Aye, definitely. Get him signed up in a new deal for me, but
it wouldn't be at the moment.
It wouldn't be on the same wages. I would be trying to, in the length of the contract, a big topic of conversation as well.
I think it was maybe one of the pods, one of the other podders mentioned he's going to have offers from England, so the money might be a bit of it would be great for us to save a bit of money in his contract, because I believe he is one of the highest paid players, but he's going to be getting offered maybe that and more from teams down south, so we might have to just suck it up if we want to keep him.
Aye, definitely, but I think Lundstrom's enjoying it here that much that I don't think he wants. Looking at it, I wouldn't say that he wants to leave.
No, it doesn't look like it.
No, definitely not. But anyway, Billy, thank you for coming on, mate.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
No problem. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Talk about the team.
Aye, 100%. Top of the league by 5 points, another 5 goals chopped up. Good day to office for Cyril Dessers. He was the better player than Lawrence Shankland today. And we will see you on Monday to dissect the game a wee bit further and to preview the game away to Kilmarnock. Take care.